family? Welcome to Speak. Hopefully this is the best decision you make all day tuning into this show, the best 90 minutes of your life. Turn your volumes up, relax in your chair. Shady, what are you doing?
No. It feels like a Friday.
No,
Today feels like a Friday.
It feels like a Friday because some of us will not be here tomorrow, and by some of us, I'm not talking about Emmanuel Acho, nor am I talking about James Jones. I'm not yet sure if I'm talking about Joy Taylor. We'll find out by the end of the show.
Taylor do be
but
out.
Shady McCoy, it's a Friday for you.
Yo, Joy be out here. I'm mad at you, little girl.
Here's what I know, Shady. I need 28 carries, 250 yards, and 3 touchdowns out of the show
What
from
is
you
this,
today.
2016?
I'm about to say, that's a young Shady right there.
But if it's mandatory, I'm gonna be here.
She gonna be here. All right, family, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, shall we? Dak Prescott, when he speaks, you better listen. And what he had to say recently is really, to some degree, earth-shattering. Get this. He's in the final year of his contract. That does not happen for NFL quarterbacks. Reports say he can make up to $60 million per season if and when a deal gets done. But Dak seems fine with the elongated process for now. Take a listen.
There's been conversations back and forth, but for the most part for me, as y'all know, I've been letting my agent do that, especially as we get right here into training camp. Day one of training camp, my mind flips to just obviously helping my team and just doing everything I can within the organization and on the football field to make sure that I'm my best and everyone around me is their best, and the money and all that will take care of itself as it always has.
Every show has talked about Dak Prescott's money, and we will eventually. But I think the more intriguing question, particularly given the brilliant minds at this desk, for you to listen to, is should Dak Prescott want to be a Cowboy for the duration of his career? James Jones played for 2 football teams, 9 years in the National Football League, I believe 8 years with the Packers, only 1 with the Raiders. Shady McCoy played for a few football teams, but most notably, he is the Eagles' all-time rushing leader from Pennsylvania, college in Pennsylvania, drafted in Pennsylvania by the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Shady, it makes the most sense to start with you. You would have been an Eagle for life if you could have chosen that path. Now, you got 2 Super Bowls out of your career, so you ain't mad at it. All-decade running back out of your career, obviously not mad at that. But given the fact that you would have wanted to be an Eagle for life, should Dak Prescott want to be a Cowboy for life?
I'm gonna say no, right? And I think we're a little different. I think I was always like a fan favorite. You were there, all right? I feel like with Dak, it's like a love-hate relationship. They love him, but then we hate him. So I would say this, though, and I'm happy that this question surfaced because I really wanted to talk about Dak. Everybody think I'm so biased, I don't like him. That's not the case. With this conversation, you're going to find out that I'm not biased. I'm just keeping it real. It's time for Dak to go, right? Because a lot of people on TV, a lot of fans, a lot of players, they feel the same way I feel as far as Dak gets blamed for everything, right? I look at Dak Prescott. There's no way you can have an MVP-type year, okay? And then you get to in the regular season. We get to the playoffs, and every time we lose, you are the main factor why we lose. And I think Dak's tired of that. Because if I was him and I was in his shoes, I was like, yo, look, man, I'm doing the best I can do. I took this team to the playoffs. I took every other year. I win the NFC East every other year. I do these things. And if I come short in the playoffs, I may need more help. Now, as a player, you can't just come out and just say that. But he might feel that. And another thing is, I'm watching so many quarterbacks get paid that's not that good. Now, Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. Let's get that straight. And a guy like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is making the same amount of money as Joe Burrow. If I told you the things that Joe Burrow did for his team and his franchise, you would say, you know what? He deserves that. If I show you the numbers that Trevor Lawrence has done and what he's did, you would say that's Gardner Minshew. He don't deserve nothing. And they paid this dude, Trevor Lawrence. So now Dak Prescott has an MVP-type season, right? And you don't even want to pay him his money? Yeah. And you want him to stay there and be a Cowboy for life? So, no. If I'm Dak Prescott's agent, I'm going to say, you know what, Jerry, you know what, McCarthy, all these guys, listen, we're going to have a great season this year, and then we're going to be on our way. We're going to get our money in the market because he's going to make more money in the market, and we'll find out if I was the real reason why we couldn't win a Super Bowl here. Simple as that.
Well said from a person who knows it firsthand. Joy, where do you stand on this? You've been watching and covering the Cowboys for a long time now. Should Dak want to be a Cowboy for life?
I'm torn because I do think that there's something to having one jersey, right? There's like a prestige to it. There's a nostalgia to it. There's an identity to it. But I also think that allure only makes sense when it's reciprocated, which is kind of what Shady's talking about. It's wild that we're even talking about Dak Prescott's money. But think about it.
That is true.
12 wins, 12 wins, 12 wins. He's a perfect face of the biggest brand in all of sports. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Like, forget the winning, the regular season, all that is important. Being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback is different than being the quarterback for any other team.
Absolutely.
And the reason it is because the Cowboys are different than any other team. They're the biggest brand in all of sports. It might irritate you to hear that, but I don't make those rules. It just is what it is. They are. They're worth the most. They're the most recognizable. And that comes with a whole other set of politics and pressures, and he does an amazing job at that. And because he's done such a good job of that for so long, even though there's some back and forth about how good he is or whatever, he's always going to be a Cowboy. He's always going to be welcome back there. No matter, well, I don't know if he goes to like the Eagles or the Giants, or the Commanders, and wins the Super Bowl, it might change, but I think he's going to be a Cowboy for life regardless. There's something to it. My brother always wanted to finish his career with the Dolphins. He wanted to spend his whole career with the Dolphins. But that's not how the league works out sometimes. He got traded. Dolphins didn't pick him up. He went to the Jets. But in the end, he finished with the Dolphins, and nobody thinks of him as playing for Washington. Some people remember him with the Jets because it was a great year for the Jets, the last great year for the Jets. But it's just, it's the bulk of his career. He'll be remembered as a Cowboy no matter what. So I do tend to agree with Shady. There's something to going somewhere else and being like, you miss me?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I agree with that heartily. James, I don't think Dak should want to be a Cowboy for life. Yeah. He's gotten everything he could get out of the Dallas Cowboys. Joy alluded to it. Because he played for the Cowboys for these 8 years, he can go on TV wherever he wants and be on any network, be calling games, be the A-game caller. He could go do any daily show he wants. He can reset the market monetarily as a TV broadcast host. You've already seen it with the likes of Michael Irvin or Deion Sanders or Troy Aikman or Jason Witten or any other former Dallas Cowboy who decides to step away. So he's already gotten all of the post-career success that he needs out of his present career with the Dallas Cowboys. But also, if I'm Dak Prescott, everybody blames me for the Cowboys' shortcomings. Sure, I'm responsible for the last 8 years to some degree, but what about the 22 years before I ever showed up? Everybody blames Dak Prescott. If I'm Dak Prescott, I would want to leave so that we can finally find out the truth of the matter. Am I holding the Cowboys back, or are the Cowboys holding me back? If Dak Prescott goes to another organization and the Cowboys have success, then fans, you've gotten your answer. If Dak goes to another organization and Dak has success, then fans and Dak Prescott, you've gotten your answer. I think it does behoove Dak Prescott to go elsewhere so we can finally realize what's the reality behind the Dallas Cowboys shortcomings. So, James, I think he should want out. Where do you stand?
No, I agree with you guys. I think he should want out. And the main reason he should want out is because you guys ain't really showed me that y'all really want me like that. First, you pay the running back before you pay me. Then now I'm coming off an all-pro year, and you guys are saying, let's wait this thing out. So that's letting me know that y'all are really unsure about me. Y'all are really unsure about the money that you want to pay me coming off one of my best years ever as a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. So for me, you know what? Y'all go ahead and see if the grass is greener on the other side. Draft a quarterback. See if Trey Lance is the answer. Go out and get another quarterback in free agency, whatever it may be. But let me go. And I want to go see how my career would end up somewhere else, finishing my career off the right way. Because if Dak Prescott played the way he has played in Dallas, in Cleveland, we might be talking about Hall of Fame. He might be getting his jersey retired or something over there in Cleveland. I'm just saying, the expectations is not this.
Like the Browns Hall of Fame? Like the Browns ring of honor?
Well, we can say that. The Browns ring of honor. But if he 12 wins in the playoffs, winning or losing.
He in the street in Cleveland.
You understand what I'm saying? But since it's in Dallas, he gets talked about bad, and all the blame goes to Dak Prescott. So, Jerry Jones, you paid Zeke before me. Now you over here sitting back with all your people that work in the organization talking, is he the guy? No. Let him walk. Let him go see what else is out there, and the Dallas Cowboys figure the quarterback spot out.
Joy, let me ask James a question quickly, because people don't often remember a take, but they'll remember a story. You played 7 years with the Packers. You were drafted to the Packers. Your 8th year, you left the Packers. You went to Oakland.
Yes.
In that year in Oakland, you had the most targets you had ever had. You had the most catches you ever had, but obviously the Raiders didn't have the same.
Games I've ever had.
No doubt about it. He lost the most games he's ever had. The reason I say that is the next year, the very next year, you go back to Green Bay. As you said it, so I do not feel bad saying it, you asked, I won't say you were begging, but you were pleading with the Packers to let you play one more season. Just give you a contract so you can get to 10. They did not do it. Knowing now, if you knew then what you knew now, would you have been a Packer for life?
No.
Why?
I would have left. Number one, I would have left because I was the number 3 over there, and I had the opportunity to go to the Oakland Raiders and be a number 1. Number two, it was going back home. I'm from the Bay Area. So even if that decision came up again, I probably would have left because I was chasing that. Let me go ball, let me go be a number one, get a lot of targets, do all that, still thinking you might win.